My name is Kim Nguyen. My title is a Program Manager. I've been working at Life Without Barriers for over 10 years. My experience of resettling in another country would be my journey to Australia. I came as an asylum seeker and refugee to Australia as a child. So my journey to Australia, my family, they didn't migrate, they came by boat to seek a new future from Vietnam. It was a journey that my parents risked their life because they wanted a better future for their family going forward. I was very little then, I would not remember a lot, but I do have vivid memory of staying in detention centre for a couple of years in Malaysia, and then was very grateful to be sponsored by some of the family that's already been here and settled here in Australia, to come over to Australia as refugee and be able to then go to school and work and start our new life again here. Coming to Australia and settling in Australia was quite difficult at the beginning. My parents had no English and they had to settle very quickly and be able to find work by knocking on every single factory's doors. At the time, back then it was much easier to get work. You just knock on doors. And they were able to get job and was just working endless hours to be able to provide for themselves, because they were grateful that we had the opportunity. For myself, going into school was quite challenging because I was placed in school as per my age. At the time, I was probably about 7 or 8, and I was placed in grade 4. I've never been to school before, and the school that I went to did not have any migrants at the time. So they didn't know how to deal with a different child at the time who didn't speak English. I think I spent about a year trying to integrate, trying to develop English, understand, and then move myself from the back of the class to the center of the class and then start communicating with everybody. So it was quite tough, and I think during those times there was a lot of, bullying, but as a child I wouldn't know the difference. I thought that was just how life is in Australia. Everything was different, everything was new. I remember seeing somebody wearing a pair of stockings and was just wondering why their feet was all stuck together at the time. It makes me understand how it is so important for the migrants that comes now, especially the new refugees, and what they would see our country to be, and the differences, the surprising things that I picked up as a child will be so challenging for them. And hence that's why I choose to be working in the immigration space, to be able to support new migrants coming to Australia and settling in Australia, and for them to be able to understand the challenge and support and the resources available in the community that we're able to help them. When I came to Australia, there wasn't many support provided then for asylum seekers and refugees in the community compared to now, where there's a lot more resources, there's a lot more services like the National Immigration Support Program that I'm in at the moment. I think back then there was just a handful of asylum seekers and refugees in Australia, so there wasn't many resources available, hence my passion in the program. To be able to support people coming to Australia and getting them settled now. What I would like the broader community to understand about my resettlement journey, as well as any other resettlement journey for any other clients that came to Australia, would be we all came with a story, we're all seeking a new beginning and an opportunity in a new world.